Hi everyone, good morning. So, this video is for the grade 10 students who are going to make your chapter 1 for your research project. So, these are the things that you have to take notice of so that you can make your chapter 1. Particularly, this will include, or your chapter 1 should include the introduction, or chapter 1 is the introduction, and it should include the following parts. First is the background of the study. Second is the statement of the problem. Third, the hypothesis. Then the definition of terms, and then the theoretical framework, conceptual framework, and the review of the related literature. So, to start with, we all know that in your research project, particularly with the template that we have, you are supposed to include four chapters. Chapter one is the introduction. Chapter two is the methods or methodology. Chapter three is the results and discussion. And chapter four is what do you call this? The conclusion and the recommendation. Now, for no, chapter 3 is results and chapter 4 is the discussion. Ba? Anyway, so let's concern ourselves with chapter 1 first. So I have here a dummy sample, or basically it's a sample so that you can get to know what will be included in the parts that you will have to make. So the title of this research is Study Habits and Academic Performance Among Grade. What's that? Among grade X of Tashanilay National High School. So this is basically how we pattern our title. We start with a variable, the word end, and another variable. Among the, what's this? Among the your respondents, and then the local or the school in this example. So chapter 1 is the introduction. Basically, it introduces the problem and why we should study this problem. The first part of the introduction is the background of the study. The background of the study will explain the problem in a more in-depth manner because it has how many paragraphs? It has six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for the sake of discussion, I have labeled each paragraph so you would have a guide on what the content would be for each of the paragraph. But in your template, or the template that I gave you, it's not necessary to have these titles. I only have this in here so that you will be guided accordingly. Okay, let's start with the background of the study. From the term background of the study, the purpose of this part is to give the readers an idea of what your study will be about. So you will be talking about the problem. Hence, the first paragraph, this one, should be about the problematic issue. We understand that we are going to study these variables from our title, the independent variable and the dependent variable. So for the problematic issue, we will focus now on what is the main problem that uh gave you the reason to study about this issue. So for this example, we're going to talk about study habits and academic performance. So, what is the problem with study habits and academic performance? So, looking back at this example, it says here academic performance remain one of the most important indicators of student success in school. Despite the availability of learning resources, many secondary school students continue to struggle with low academic performance, which may be influenced by several learner-related factors such as poor study habits. Study habits refer to the routine practices students employ when learning, reviewing lessons, and preparing for assessments, which significantly affect how well they perform academically. So basically, you're establishing here the problem that might exist or that already exists in the relationship between study habits and academic performance. Or basically, you're trying to establish if there is a relationship or if there is a probable relationship, something like that. So, in Tagalog, parang sinasabi natin in the problematic issue kung ano ang pinagmulan kung bakit mo kailangan pag-aralan itong problema ito. Bakit siya naging problema? Naging problema siya, itong study habits and academic performance because na-notice daw that uh, that academic performance is isang bagay na nagdidikta kung magiging successful ang isang bata sa paaralan. Of course, the academic performance. Now, gayunpaman, marami pa ring mga mag-aaral ang nagkakaproblema pagdating sa kanilang academic performance. And isa sa tinuturing na rason is their study habits. So that is a problem that we understand that academic performance is important, and we also understand that there could be a relationship or that their study habits could be one of the reasons bakit mababa yung kanilang academic performance. So that is the problematic issue. Basically, you discuss in one paragraph ano ba yung problema patungkol sa inyong variables that um, prompted you na gawin yang study nyo. Okay? Gets basically the problem. You just explain the problem or the issue. So for the second paragraph is the itong second, third, and fourth paragraph, this will basically talk about the problem in three different setting. So na-establish man nato na may issue, we've already established na may issue. Now we're going to establish that these issues exist in different setting. In the global setting for paragraph 2, in the national setting in paragraph 3, and in the local setting in paragraph 4. So basically, paragraph 2 will be somewhat similar with paragraph 1, only that you have to establish the setting to be global in nature. Halimbawa, for this paragraph, we start with the word globally, although it's not recommended because although it's very gas to use this as your first word in this paragraph, it helps to establish the context. Globally, studies have shown that ineffective study habits contribute to poor academic outcomes among adolescents. According to, always remember to use the in-text citation. We write the author's last name. Kung dalawa, we can just use and pag marami na, that's when we use et al. So the author's name and then the year of publication and then the information that you would like to share. So according to Creed and Kunsel 2008, students who lack structured and consistent study routines tend to perform lower academically compared to those who apply effective learning strategies. International assessments likewise emphasize the academic achievement is not solely dependent on intelligence, but also in behavioral and environmental factors, including this what we call study habits. So for this paragraph, it has been established that the problem exists between study habits and the academic performance in the context of an international setting or a global setting. So, what makes the next preceding paragraph, no, the next paragraphs different is only the setting. You will also discuss in paragraph 3, you will also discuss the problem or the issue, but only in the national setting. Since we are in the Philippines, our national setting would be in the Philippine context. So notice that in this paragraph, they start with in the Philippine context. So in the Philippines, in the Philippine context, or nationally, something like that. Several studies have identified study habits such as or as a critical factor affecting students' academic performance. So if you notice, for the problematic issue, you may or may not include an author because what we want to see here is you being able to describe the problem in your own words. So mas mabuti kung walang author, kayo talagang mag-describe nung problem. On the other hand, for the next or for the following paragraphs, you have to have your author, especially that we are looking at different contexts. We have to have the sources, the proper sources be credited as well so that our research or the information that we share are proven to be reliable. So for this one, we have these authors. For the national setting, meron tayo dito, Magulod 2019. And of course, for the local setting, so at the local level, if we can find something from Davao City, since we're in Davao City, it's okay. But if we can find something of the barangay level or the very school where we want this study to be conducted in, that's a lot better. Pero I understand that it's hard to have that since especially if that's the gap that we're trying to fill in with these kinds or this specific topic. So, ang gagawin lang natin, again, sa chapter 1 tuloy. Sa paragraph 1, i-describe natin yung issue or yung problem patungkol sa ating variables. Tapos, sa paragraph 2, ah, we also do the same na i-describe natin yung problem. Tapos, i-describe natin yung problem na nangyayari din siya globally or around the world or internationally. For paragraph 3, explain natin yung problem between the variables na nangyayari siya sa loob ng ating bansa. And paragraph 4, explain natin yung problem na nangyayari siya either in Davao City or in the barangay or in the district that we are a part of. So yun, magkaibang ano lang sila setting. Global, national, at local setting. For the next paragraphs, paragraph 5 and 6, these paragraphs are related in the sense that the fifth paragraph talks about the research gap. What is a research gap? The research or a research gap is the things that are lacking in the previously established research. Kasi sabi natin, research na lang siya. Meaning, may mga tao na nag-aral ng same ng topic ninyo. It's just that may kaibahan or may kakulangan na pwede mong pagtuunan ng pansin. Now, for this example, sabi niya dito, Sabi niya dito, although numerous studies have examined study habits and academic performance, so nasabi niya na there has been researches before about the same topics. Pero limited research has focused specifically on kung ano yung grade na pinag-aaralan mo. Particular sa OH and HS. Meaning, existing studies often concentrate on halimbawa, college students or urban schools, which leaves a gap in understanding how study habits relate to academic performance in a local public secondary school setting. Ano daw yung sinabi niya? Na may mga tao na and may mga research na nagawa based or about the same topics. The issue or the gap now or kakulangan is that madalas yung mga research na ito na nagawa na are about mga college students o kaya or di kaya na may patungkol sa mga estudyante in a private schools or in the schools in the cities. Wala talagang same topic pero patungkol dito sa barangay natin o kaya sa specific school kung saan mo gustong pag-aralan itong bagay na 'to. So that's one. Marami actually types of gaps. Halimbawa, gaps ng respondents, gaps ng, basta basically ang gap is ano yung kulang sa mga research na na-establish or na nagawa na. Then yun yung gusto mong i-address. Now, bakit ko sinabi na related si paragraph 6 because paragraph 6 talks about the urgency of the study. Meaning, you relate this to the research gap. As you notice, it starts with given the importance of academic performance in shaping students' future educational opportunities, it's necessary to examine factors that may influence it. So, you relate it to the gap and to the very problem. Kumbaga, bakit kailangan mong pag-aralan yung study na ito? Says here, understanding relationship between the variables that you have enumerated among the students that you have chosen and in the local or school kung saan mo gusto mag-aral will help, sabi niya, teachers, school administrators, parents develop appropriate interventions to improve student learning outcomes. So basically, sinasabi niya na important ang pag-aralan ang bagay na ito because it will help the following people or the following sectors. And then, given that may kakulangan sa mga na-research na. So yun yung chapter 1 background of the study or the introduction part 1 yung background of the study. Again, may anim na paragraph, may iba't ibang content per paragraph. Following that is the statement of the problem. This one, wala kayong masyadong gagawin because the thing with research is may template kasi siya, particularly in quantitative research, very ano siya, very um consistent siya in terms of its template. Particularly for this one, sa statement of the problem, gagawin nyo, ikakopy nyo lang ito, that this study aims to determine the relationship between, papalitan nyo lang itong variables, itong respondents of the Shangri-La National High School, yan din naman gagawin ninyo. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following question. Kasi nga, we're trying to make a research or a quantitative research. Ang gina-measure natin dito are the levels of our variables and to establish whether there is a relationship. So basically, same-same lang ang or magkapareho lang yung types of questions ninyo. For statement of the problem number 1, what is the level of the study habits? Ano itong study habits sa kanilang study? It's the independent variable. So, Basically, statement of the problem number one is asking for the level of the independent variable among the senior respondents and tawag dito, yung local ninyo. So, for statement of the problem number two, palitan mo lang din ito ng what is the level of ano yung dependent variable ninyo. Gets? And then, for the third one, copy nyo lang din whether there is or is there a significant relationship between ano yung variables ninyo, yung senior respondents and then the local. Diba? Simple lang ang statement of the problem. You just substitute ano yung mga variables ninyo. Now, for the hypothesis, there are two kinds of the hypothesis. Yung alpha, I believe it's alpha hypothesis or the positive hypothesis, and this one, the null hypothesis or the sort of like the negative hypothesis. So, to be uniform, we will be using the null hypothesis, meaning hypothesis is a smart guess of what will be the result or the outcome of this study. Since our question is whether or the nature of our study is correlational, we're trying to find out if there is a relationship between the variables, then our hypothesis will be to answer that question. But since our hypothesis is null, so meaning negative, so this will be the nature of our hypothesis. There is no significant relationship. Tapos mag-matter na lang siya sa ating result whether i-accept natin yung null hypothesis or i-reject natin siya kasi may relationship. I'll not dwell on that. You just copy that and then change the variable so that I will not be dwelling so much on that because you will realize that later when we have our result. Next is the definition of terms. Now, usually people have a hard time putting what words to put and identify for the definition of terms in practice, or at least in my undergrad we only had the two variables to be defined. Now, for this time, let's only have this as well. This is just for the sake of practice. So, eto. So, our independent variable is the study habits and our dependent variable is the academic performance. So, ito lang din yung words na i-define natin. Now, for the definition, for the sake of discussion, may label ako dito, conceptual and the operational definition. But in your work, hindi niyo na siya kailangang lagyan ng conceptual definition or label na ito ang conceptual, ito ang operational. You just go directly with this definition tapos sumpay na dahil na in this study diri or i i what do you call this? Idugtong niyo lang dito yung in this study. So parang isang paragraph, dalawang sentence, yun. So what's the difference between the conceptual definition and operational definition? The conceptual definition is particularly, ito yung definition na makikita natin from the internet or from the dictionary or from the sources. Kung ano ibig sabihin ng word. Halimbawa, for study habits, ito yung definition ng study habits. It refers to the consistent practices and behaviors employed by students in organizing, processing, reviewing academic materials to facilitate learning. So since may source man siya, we include the citation, meaning saan nanggaling, sino nagsabi. Okay? Kasi conceptual siya eh. Meaning, may source ka kung sino nag-define. Or if it's the dictionary, you also put there. So, for the Operational definition. It is a definition kung papaano niyo ginamit at imi-measure ang inyong that specific term. Yung study habits, notice itong introductory part ng sentence. In this study, okay? Sabi natin parang in layman's term, pwede natin sabihin na parang ganito yung definition niya based on the dictionary, the conceptual framework. Pero, dito po sa aming study, or in this study, ang ibig pong sabihin ng study habits ay ito po. Where study habits refer to the student's responses to a self-administered questionnaire measured using a Likert scale. So, na-quantify mo ngayon or na-qualify mo ngayon, ano yung study habits in your study? Does it mean the same thing? Yes, it means the same thing. It's just that it's applied differently or is perceived differently or depending on how the respondents perceive it. So ito, again, conceptual definition is the definition that we get from the internet or from different sources, while the operational definition is the definition of how the term is used in the context of your excuse me, of your study. Same thing applies with the dependent variable. Next is the theoretical framework. Okay. The theoretical framework is this is a short example, pero the idea is that the idea for the theoretical framework is you get or find a theory kung saan magbe-base ang iyong research. Halimbawa, for this study, for the paragraph you start with, this study is anchored on. Kanino nyo gi-base yung research niyo? For this one, this study is anchored on Bandura's social cognitive theory, which emphasizes that learning is influenced by behavioral and personal environmental factors. So basically, you find a theory kung saan i-base ang inyong research. Now, this used to be mahirap gawin because you will really have to understand all the yes, you still have to understand it now. But I am not discouraging the use of AI only for searching for relevant or relevant theories. You can use AI to search for relevant theories or theories from which you can base your research. But the research in itself about the theory, you use trusted or reliable websites. So you do your research on your own. It's just that you can have the aid of AI in identifying for relevant theories. Next is the conceptual framework. This one is very simple. You just give the illustration for your research. So basically, you have this picture. Independent variable, the arrow in between them going to the dependent variable. It's the concept of variables, meaning a change in the study habits could um, result to a change in the academic performance or uh, that this variable could have a relationship with this variable. So yun. Uh, there's nothing much to discuss about this one because it's very self-explanatory. Makita nyo man lang kung ano yung and I also have the template sample that I have given to your leaders. Down to the last part. Last two parts. The review of related literature. Basically, you're going to um what do you call this? What better way to explain this? Basically, you're going to write something like an essay of or about or regarding your variables. Now, I have a limit for this one or at least a requirement for each of the variable, makabuo man lang kayo ng content na 1.5 page for each of the variables. So, sa dalawang variable, 3 pages na siya. So, basically, parang essay lang patungkol sa variables niyo galing sa iba't ibang sources. Parang ito, this is one paragraph. Kada paragraph may isang author dapat. So, dito na ipapasok niyo yung paraphrasing ninyo. Yung mga natutunan ninyo sa paraphrasing. And lastly, lahat ng sources ninyo ay dapat nakalagay sa references. Wag na wag kakalimutan. So I guess that's it. You work on your research now. Kung may question pa, you can just message me. Goodbye.